Okay.
Okay, let's take a look at both of these teams. So, Czarina with the bane of my existence, a Charizard, a Charizard Y team, I believe. I'm a little scared to look up the team sheet, but well, casting is casting, and she will be using a Charizard Y. Interestingly, this Garchomp has a Habanberry, so it will be resisting other Garchomp. Now, Binsoy is a member of Team Cebu. We did talk about his team earlier, and I helped him using Pokesync, but I did tell him, well, as long as you don't run into a Charizard, you should be okay. And well, he has run into a Charizard here.
I mean, there are a lot of chances that you'd be running into Charizard.
Oh, definitely. In this regulation, chances are you're going to run to a Charizard, but you could get really lucky. But then, if you're constantly winning, chances are another Charizard player is also going to be constantly winning. So, his Meganium team here, well, it's not going to do extremely well into this Charizard matchup. But he does have that Basculegion with Choice Scarf, which can punch back a Charizard, but we don't know exactly how Tsareena has built up her own Charizard. So, yeah. And we will be seeing Binsoy lead with Basculegion and Whimsicott. Now, Tsareena will be also leading with Charizard and Basculegion, probably as a countermeasure towards, well, other Basculegion.
Right. Oh
So,
my gosh. What will be happening in this turn?
But here's the thing. We don't know if Tsareena built her Charizard to withstand that wave crash, because we know that Basculegion has been adapted to have adaptability and actually KO Charizard in the sun. Then again, Whimsicott here is just for vibes, I suppose, but vibes are vibes. It does have a fairy feather, and like I predicted, Tsareena will be mega evolving her Charizard here into Charizard Y, bringing the sun with it. Drought will be coming from this Charizard, turning it into a nuclear weapon. But Binsoy here, seeing that, nope, I'm not gonna allow you to outspeed me with your own Basculegion. I will not be dealing with speed ties. Goes for the flip turn right after the Tailwind, but did not go for the Charizard. Probably a little wary of any protects, hits the Basculegion on Tsareena's side instead, and will be switching in one of his Pokemon. And yeah, he's switching in his Garchomp here. And Czarina, seeing the exact same thing, flip turns into the Garchomp, but will be eating up rough skin damage. So that went fairly well. Both Pokemon, both fish here have pivoted out. And Czarina has pivoted her Basculegion out for her own Whimsicott. So Tsareena's probably thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna hit back with another Tailwind. This Charizard, however, just looked at the Garchomp on Binsoy's side and said, hey, how well are you gonna take this Solar Beam? And turns out not too well. That did a very, very solid amount of damage. And we know that the Garchomp will be a little faster than Charizard, provided it is max speeds on both sides. But yeah, the real question here is, what are either of these players gonna do? We know that Rock Slide is on Binsoy's Garchomp, but will he be using it? Wary of that fact. Thank God people are looking at the sheets. Tsareena will be switching out her own Charizard for that. Well,
The sneeze.
the Sneasler.
What a cute name for a Whimsicott. Wasabi.
Yeah, so Tsareena's Whimsicott, however, will be locking Binsoy's Garchomp, Binsoy's Whimsicott rather, into Helping Hand. And as we predicted earlier, threatening the Charizard, I mean, why wouldn't the Garchomp go for it? Garchomp goes for the Rock Slide, but just doesn't do that much damage into both the Whimsicott and the Sneasler on Czarina's side. But here's the thing. Sneasler has, you guessed it, Fake Out. And the Whimsicott is, you guessed it, Encored into Helping Hand. It's a very simple move here for Czarina. She can easily just fake out and Moonblast into the Garchomp to take it out. That Whimsicott on Binsoy's side probably doesn't have very much to do here. But yeah, he will be withdrawing the Whimsicott to get rid of that Encore, and he'll be sending Rotom in. And yeah, like I said earlier, the fake out from the Garchomp doesn't allow it to move. But what's Czarina's Whimsicott gonna do? And yeah, it does go for the Moonblast, but instead of the Moonblast into the Garchomp, it goes for the slot on the Whimsicott.
Interesting.
Probably to destroy the Focus Sash. Does Binsoy's? No. Binsoy's Whimsicott has a Fairy Feather. His Weavile is the one with a Focus Sash, but he did not bring it to this match. So, both players here not in too bad of a position. The Weavile still gonna be able to do Weavile things, honestly. And, well, that Garchomp on Binsoy's side of the field looks like pretty good bait, honestly. But do you want to take it out right now and have it get replaced by anything else? I mean, you still have 2 turns of Sun. Czarina probably doesn't want any of her Pokemon going down this specific turn. Next turn maybe is to have the Charizard come in a little cleaner, but that's still in 2 turns.
The Rock Slide from the Garchomp.
Yeah, Garchomp on Binsoy's side will be going for Rock Slide, trying to probably fishing for a flinch. And
Ooh.
unlike the previous round, this Overheat will not be missing into that Whimsicott this time. Boosted by the Sun, and it is just doing an absurd amount of damage.
Close combat on that Rotom.
Yeah,
Not enough KO.
not enough to KO. Sneasler will be going for the close combat on the Rotom and will be activating its own Unburden while healing up its stats with that close combat. Again, like I said, Tsareena probably doesn't want to take out anything too vital right now. She needs to be able to position herself a little better for her endgame. Whimsicott probably already did its job anyway, so she still has a pretty good advantage. She has both Charizard and Basculegion in the back, but with this being the exact last turn of Sun, yeah, you could imagine she doesn't want to bring in Charizard just yet. Let the Sun expire, let her bring it back up. So I think, if anything, Tsareena probably wants this Sneasler to go down here. It's probably a little more advantageous to her considering the opposing roster. Binsoy did not bring a single Pokemon with, well, a Mega. He didn't bring a Mega here.
Oh, interesting choice.
So,
Why would that be?
It, like I said, we actually discussed it earlier. Again, you do not want to be fighting Charizard with a Meganium.
Alright. So the Meganium is the one bringing the Megastone.
Yeah. So, Binsoy will be pulling out his Rotom and then sending in his Whimsicott here. Unfortunately, someone again find me a new word.
Oh, your new word is.
Yeah, it will be taking out Binsoy's Whimsicott with that Dire Claw, and well, this Basculegion will be hitting the Garchomp with Last Respects. Tsareena will now be able to set the Sun back up if she so wishes. Her own Basculegion, Binsoy's Basculegion out here with this Rotom. But here's the thing, Speed Tie, this Rotom is not in a good spot. It is, but we know that the Basculegion is choice locked. So, it can very easily Last Respects into the opposing Basculegion. But there are no more Tailwinds in effect, so there will be a massive Speed Tie here. Are they gonna go for the Speed Ties, or what's gonna happen?
This is actually the first time I've spectated Tsareena's games, and very interesting gameplays here from Tsareena.
Well, she's known. I've been told several times over that she's quite an aggressive player, and it really shows. She's very good with her positioning and just her, well, I want to say more positioning, but she's very calculated with how she takes things out, and it's working very much in her favor. And her Basculegion will win this Speed Tie. But was it actually a Speed Tie to begin with?
That
We
we
don't
do
know
not
if it's
know.
Jolly and we don't know if it's Adamant. But regardless,
The first
it
game.
will be her win for the first game of this set.
GG's.
Geosenj Garbodor. What'd you think of that game one?
It was very interesting. I loved how you analyzed each um, turn, and when you said that there was a right time to send out the Charizard, and there was.
Right.
Those are some plays that I also like to learn from, because those are things that I'm not very good at, being calculated. So that was amazing to see from Torremucha here.
Yeah, well, Tsareena showing a masterclass of positioning there. And, again, you don't want to send in your Pokemon a little too early or a little too late. Just because you are running a weather team. And weather is very incremental on the Pokemon that come in. It's not like you have a Sableye or anything that has manual weather that'll set it up for you. So, having the weather end as your Pokemon with the weather, your weather setter come in, that could very much be the difference between running away with the game and getting ran over the game. So, Binsoy is gonna have to make some massive adjustments here, but again, like we did talk about earlier, two of his Pokemon, well, three of them are very weak to this Charizard. His Meganium, his Whimsicott, and his Weavile probably really don't want to see this Charizard in action, but they seem to be quite integral. I mean, the Sneasler on Czarina's side will also be taking care of the Meganium and the Whimsicott. They share the same typing actually, Grass, Fairy, and that is a ×4 weakness to poison. And
Right.
Sneasler is Sneasler. So we will be starting game 2 with the same leads from Binsoy actually. Same leads for everyone. So how will everyone be playing this game 2? So again, Whimsicott and Basculegion on Binsoy's side. But Czarina here will be leading once again with that Charizard and Basculegion. And I'm pretty sure we can probably... I don't know. They're probably just gonna... It's probably gonna be a repeat of game 1. But I'd love to see a more ballsy play here.
Right. It would be very interesting if it was different from the first one. Because that's always a thing. It's mind games at this point.
Can you imagine if Binsoy goes for a helping hand wave crash into this Charizard on turn 1 and it protects? I mean, it's extremely high risk, but it's also extremely high reward. So, yeah, Czarina will be Mega Evolving her Charizard here, bringing the sun with it with that Drought. And yeah, the Tailwind coming from Binsoy's side of the field with that. Yeah, but Flip Turn will, instead of hitting the Basculegion, will be smacking into the Charizard this time. Binsoy's own Basculegion will be hitting that Charizard, doing a pretty substantial amount of damage. Can you imagine if instead it was the Wave Crash? But again, extremely high risk, but also pretty darn high reward.
Would it be high risk though? I mean, if you could just take out the Charizard.
It's not a 100% guarantee. I believe it's somewhere around the 90%. But yeah, we will be seeing a repeat of game 1. Flip Turn will once again be smacking into the fish, but is now a land fish in the form of Garchomp. Czarina's Basculegion will be taking some rough skin damage, but we'll be switching in. Will it be the Whimsicott again? Or will it be something else for immediate pressure? What do you think? Okay. Yeah, it is. We're seeing a pretty similar game 1 here. But
and Czarina goes for it.
yeah, rather than going for the solar beam here, Czarina just goes straight for the heat wave, going, yeah, you want speed control? I'll show you speed control. And no more speed control on Binsoy's side of the field. He'll have to make these turns of Tailwind work in his favor. Now, Rotom did come out. Rotom does, in fact, threaten the Charizard here. and the Whimsicott, but it can only target into one.
Right.
But
So-
at the same time, Garchomp will be able to threaten the
Alright.
Garchomp with that Rock Slide. I imagine Czarina will not want her Charizard to stay in this turn, but there is also the option of protecting the Charizard, delaying it a bit, and then focusing down something else, but will playing a little passively be in her favor. That not too sure about that.
Myself being an aggressive player. Yeah.
And
So we see the tailwind from Torremucha. And the Garchomp going for that Earthquake.
oh,
Ah.
interesting. So Binsoy did think, yeah, you're gonna switch out your Garchomp and whatever, or you're gonna switch out your Charizard, and whatever's coming in is gonna
Right.
get pelted by my Earthquake. But instead, Czarina calls the bluff and goes, yeah, I don't care. Hits that Garchomp with a Solar Beam, doesn't do too much damage, but the overheat from the Rotom into the Whimsicott, enough to take it out, but the Whimsicott here has done its job.
So both Whimsicots are out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This may be the last turn of Tailwind on Binsoy's side of the field. Czarina may have just been trying to time it out.
Same as last
Yes.
game, right? Where Tsareena found the sweet spot on when to use specific.
When to come in and when to stay out. So it's actually very, very, again, a master play on a master class on the timing of when to pull in and stay out. But we did see how ballsy of a play what Czarina did here. She stayed in.
Yeah, that's true.
She stayed in with Rock Slide and Volt Switch on the opposite side of the field. So 3 turns of Tailwind and 2 turns. No, I was wrong. There's still 2 turns of Tailwind on Binsoy's side of the field, but 3 turns on Czarina's. Now she's able to switch out her Charizard, but will she want to though? It's still in a pretty good position. At the same time, this Garchomp looks extremely problematic. With the Tailwind up though, Garchomp probably doesn't want to get hit by anything that Basculegion does. The same with this Rotom, but what's this Rotom gonna do? Does go for last respects on the Rotom, not the Garchomp, interestingly. But Rock Slide will be coming from that Garchomp.
It seems Binsoy was able to take out this Charizard.
Yeah, Binsoy just manages to take out the Charizard with that Rock Slide. Binsoy, however, yeah, the overheat debuff earlier kind of forced out the damage or reduced the damage from that Volt Switch into the Basculegion, but well, this is gonna be interesting, isn't it? Because this Basculegion, again, the Basculegion on Czarina's side is locked into last respects. And her Sneasler here is in a very good position to poke this Garchomp with Fake Out, while her own Basculegion goes for the last respects on Binsoy's Basculegion. But again, we don't know if this is Jolly or Adamant. If both of these Basculegion are Adamant, then we're going to be seeing another Speed Tie dice roll.
So I guess we'll see here, right? Which one goes first.
Yeah. And yeah, Garchomp will be protecting here. But did Czarina call out that bluff? And she does. She does not go for the fake out and she wins the speed tie. But again, we don't know. What if that's not a speed tie and this is a Jolly Basculegion? And yeah, the close combat, she just goes for it. Why wait for a fake out when she could just punch straight through? Binsoy's side of the field, now without any Tailwind though, he's going to be significantly slower, and both of his Pokemon appear to be, well, not the healthiest right now. This Basculegion in a prime position to just do whatever it wants. Garchomp will be able to take out the Sneasler if it manages to get a hit in. So I guess Czarina found the win condition earlier. She probably went, okay, I don't need Charizard now. I can win with this Sneasler. Basculegion will be taking out Garchomp with last respects locked in. And yeah, Adamant or Jolly probably didn't matter too much. And her Sneasler will be KOing this Rotom with close combat, giving her the second game and the set.
Crazy. That was crazy.
And
So
Yeah.
I really like that whole match. Good game to both players.
yeah, fantastic game to both players.
But as always, as a VGC player who just started last year, I am always amazed to see how players position, pivot out, and choose their moves. It's always amazing to see
Yeah.
how each player navigates a game. Very good game to both players.